Hello everybody, welcome back to another Halo CE modding tutorial, and today we're going to be talking about how to use AI conversations and everything about them. And they are pretty much what you'd expect. They're conversations that can be had between different AI actors using sound tags and I guess whatever, any sound tag really, but you probably just want to use dialogue tags. But yeah, the conversations are found in the same folder as the encounters. It's in the AI folder in your base thing. And you create them just like anything else. To create one, you just hit new instance. It should pop up right here, and then also it'll be under the folder. And then you have your conversation instance here, and then in that instance you have participants folder and a lines folder. And those are also pretty much what they say. Participants are the people that will be speaking in the conversation. Every participant has to speak a line, otherwise the conversation will not fire. I learned that the hard way. The very hard way. And then you have all your lines right here, where you can set a whole bunch of settings. And yeah, now we'll go over all these settings, and I guess generally just stuff about conversations in general. So conversations, they're like if statements. If you do not have this keep trying to play thing ticked or checked, if you don't have this box checked, and this conversation is told to fire, it will check if all the conditions are met. If they are, it'll play like normal. If they aren't, it won't play, and then it will never play, because it has to be, everything has to be, all the requirements have to be met at the moment it's called. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But if you have this checked right here, then it's going to try. If it fails, it's going to try again if it fails, and then it's going to just endlessly check until all the conditions are met. And those conditions are, the player has to be within this trigger distance right here, so 20 world units for this one I made. All the participants have to speak a line, which we'll get to that later, and all the participants have to be found. So you can see here we have several different settings. We got a friendly actor, elite, in the encounter convo, so it's going to be looking for a friendly elite here to assign to this participant. And if it cannot find this guy and the conversation's fired, it won't work because it needs this guy. You have the optional thing up here, which makes it optional, so if it doesn't find it, it just does its thing, it just continues. And then you have has alternate and is alternate, and check one, check the other. So Bill is the alternate for Bob, and yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And that's all the that's the flags for the participants, but we'll go back to the conversation itself. Most of these are very self-explanatory. All of these, I think, are in reference to the participants. So if a participant dies, the conversation stops. If one is damaged, it stops. So basically, with all this stuff, with this current configuration, nothing is going to stop the conversation, even if they die or damaged. So if they're alerted, player must be visible. Stop other actions. Just I assume if they're on patrol or something, or just running around in their guard positions, they'll just stop if this is checked. And then we got the run to player distance. I don't know what this does. I haven't been able to figure it out, and I haven't. It doesn't seem to have any effect on the conversation itself. But this seems to just do nothing. The run to player distance, or run to player dist, whatever that means. I assume distance. But yeah, yeah. Other than this last setting right here, I'm not sure. Well, other than this, I know what everything does, but this one I don't. Okay, let's move on. So now we'll go on to participants. Participants and lines, you create just like everything else, new instance, and it'll pop up over here. And then, the way participants work, you can't specify a specific actor to be a participant every time. All these options right here are basically to narrow down the choices the computer has of choosing the participant. So if we had this this setup, the computer would choose a friendly elite actor in the map. So if there were 5 different friendly elites on the map, then it would just choose one of those 5 at random every time. But if you put in the encounter name, then it will choose a friendly elite in this encounter, which I have that encounter right here, Cov Convo, and I have all the starting positions set up. We're gonna have 2 grunts. Oh no, one elite, 1 grunt, 1 hunter in this thing. So now there's only 1 elite in Cov Convo. So that's basically is gonna be the same as specifying this actor every time. But if I were to have multiple grunts in a, actually I'll do that. We'll spawn one. We'll spawn another starting position here. Set it to a grunt minor. So now we have 2 grunts in here. And I believe the next participant I have is a grunt. So Bill, oh no, player. So now this is going to be looking for a friendly actor, grunt, in Cov Convo. So there's 2 grunts in Cov Convo that are friendly. So it's going to randomly choose between those 2. Because those are the remaining options after we checked all these settings. So that's pretty straightforward. You use this object and set new name. Those are pretty much the same thing. The first time you create a participant, you have to set its name. But if you want to use the same participant later in a different conversation, you can hit new instance, make an entire new conversation. Go down to your participants, add one, and then instead of renaming the same guy, you just go use this object, and you find the participant you already created in this list right here. So we already got all 3 of these guys. So that's just if you want the same guy in another conversation. Because once it chooses a participant, once it chooses an actor as a participant, that's not going to change. It'll still be random, like each time you load the game, but you get the point. And now for lines. Lines are the lines they speak. There's some more flags for this. They're pretty self-explanatory. Addressee, look at speaker. Everyone look at speaker. Everyone look at addressee. And then wait until these 2 bottom ones. Wait until people are nearby. I think you got a pretty good amount of playroom of what is considered nearby. I haven't tested these out much, but I have gone a pretty good distance away from the conversation, the AI having the conversation, and they still seem to have it. So I assume if the conversation's like having here, you have wait until everyone nearby, and then there's a participant way the fuck over here, then I assume it won't work because that distance is pretty crazy. But I don't think you probably won't need to worry too much about these 2 if you have them checked or unchecked. And then we got wait until after told to advance. That is referring to a command, a scripting command. And I might have already said this, but conversations, they have to be scripted. If I were to like load up this scenario in MCC and just like play it, the conversation won't happen. Well, it will because I already have it scripted, but if you were to just do all this in Sapien and only in Sapien, it's not going to work because you need scripting. But this is another script, a conversation advance script. So what it does, when the conversation is called, it's going to play this first line. And then it's going to pause the conversation after the line is spoken. And then it has to be told to advance in scripting to play these last lines, or until it finds another line with this, and then it'll play that line and pause after it. And then you got your participant. This is the speaker. The first participant is the speaker. You got the addressee, which can be the player or another participant. And then if we set the, it could be none too. And then if it's a participant, you just select the Jesus Christ. You just select the participant, whoever it is. We'll just leave that at player. And then line delay time. That is the delay before the line is played. And then we got the line that's being said. So you just go find a .sound file. You hit these 3 dots, select a .sound file, and that'll be that. So we want everyone to look at the player because we are the ones being addressed. Wait until after told to advance, and We don't want these other ones to be told to advance, so look at address C, look at address C, so... And as you can see, each participant has a line here. I should probably rename that one. That's not the player, that's just like a grunt. We'll call him... We'll call him Jack. Let's make all of these the player. So player, none. We don't need a delay time there. Ah, fuck it, we'll do it. So, yeah, I guess you can just mess around with these settings, have people going back and forth, and talking, saying whatever lines you want them to say. I just kind of like threw in random lines here. I used my custom, the sound I ripped from Ghost Recon in my sound tag tutorial. I got that for the grunt, so that's gonna be funny. But I believe that's everything we need to do in Sapien. So I guess just a quick run over. So a quick overview of the conversation in Sapien. You have your conversation here. The player, in order for it to fire, in order for it to play when it's called in scripting, the player has to be within this trigger distance right here. All participants have to be able to be found by the computer. So there has to be a friendly grunt in Convo for the computer to choose from in order to play, and every participant has to speak at least one line. So we got Bob, Bill, and Jack here. And now we'll go talk about scripting, which is not too crazy. I'll have to add one in here, but this is a pretty basic script. You got a script startup, wake, Convo 1. This is the script being awoken, and then I got a simple trigger called Convo trigger, which is just the thing to start the AI conversation. I could just have this in startup and the conversation would just happen right away, but I have this like this anyway. And this is the command, AI conversation, and then the conversation name. So Convo 1. So that's a pretty simple one. And then since we checked the wait after until told to advance for the first line, when this happens, it's only going to speak the first line. And if I were to play this, it would just speak the first line, and then it just endlessly wait until told to advance. So we want to tell it to advance. So we'll do sleep for 120 ticks, and then AI conversation advance, and then we define the conversation, Convo 1. So it's gonna speak the first line, it's gonna wait, and then, well, the conversation is gonna pause, and then the script is gonna pause for 120 ticks, and then it's gonna tell the conversation to advance, which is going to trigger the final two lines. And if you had more lines where this was checked, you would just have to add another AI conversation advance command in there. And I think we'll do one more command just to show off one more line, a status command, which I will link the scripting reference in this in the description of this video, because there's a whole bunch of different status. There's 7 digits that start. It goes from 0 to 6. Each number has a status of conversation tied to it. So 6 is the conversation is finished. I think 1 is if the conversation is aborted. 1 if the conversation is waiting to start. So yeah, we'll spawn in some Marines when the conversation's finished. So not initially created. Make them friendly. Make a squad. Have squad 1. Set them to alerts. We will spawn 7 of them and get their starting positions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And do I have the Marines? No, I have to add the actor file. So there you go. We're gonna spawn 7 armored marines when the conversation's finished. Well, we have to still script it, but those guys are gonna be in-game. Well, not really, because they're not initially created, but you get the point. They're gonna be. And that took a little bit. And now for the squad, set the actor type to Marine Armored Assault Rifle. Save that, everything. And now, final scripting. So after we tell the conversation to advance, we want to give it some time to finish, because if we have the command right after this, it's not going to fire in time. So we'll do another sleep. We'll do that 240 ticks, and then we'll do an if. Shit. Let's see if I can remember how to do this properly. AI conversation status of convo 1 is 6. I think I might need some spaces in here. So that's 6. In terms of status, in terms of conversation status, 6 means the conversation's finished. And then, shit, do I have to have a space there? Ah, fuck. I'm sure I'll find out. But yeah, the equal sign is just telling it equal to this number. And then AI place cov marines. And then I think we have to finish off the if statement. Those two, those two, those two, and those two. Okay, let's see if this worked. Alright, I nailed it. Okay. So yeah, now when we going... Oh, by the way, the trigger, the trigger convo that was in the that volume trigger thing to start the conversation, that's just right up here. And I believe the starting position is back here. So we'll walk forward a little bit. It will trigger the first line of the conversation. Well, it'll trigger the conversation. Where the hell am I? Oh. It'll trigger the conversation to start. So this first line will play with a 1-second delay. And then it's gonna wait. It's gonna pause the conversation. The script is gonna pause for 220 ticks. Then it's gonna be then it's gonna tell the conversation to advance, and then it's gonna play these 2 lines. And then while that's happening, the script is sleeping for 240 ticks. And then, by the time the script is done sleeping, if both of these lines have finished, the conversation will have been complete. And if the conversation is complete, when the script finishes sleeping, a bunch of Marines should spawn right over there. Yeah. So we will find tool, compile the map, and do this shit. So yeah, always make sure all your participants have lines to speak, because I tried to record this like 5 different times, and I finally figured out why it wasn't working, because I got it to work before, but I didn't realize I had all the participants speaking. So when I tried to record it, I tried to simplify it and just have like some extra guys in there. But that didn't, that made it more complicated. There you go, replace that. So yeah, that's making sure all your guys have things to say is required. We got no scripting errors, so all that should be fine. And then I think I'll talk about if you use a disembodied voice. So, load in here. Got those 3 guys. Oh shit! I didn't raise the number. That other grunt didn't get spawned. Error. That's the sound I made in the my sound tag video. And there are the Marines. So there we go. And there's one more command that has to do with status, AI conversation statuses. It's called AI conversation line, and it basically just returns the line number the conversation's on at the moment when it's called. So, yeah. But yeah, there we go. That's pretty easy. Well, once I once I figured out that once I figured out all the participants have to say something, now it's pretty easy. But my God, dude. Oh, fuck, I can't believe that at least I figured it out. At least I figured it out now rather than figure it out later. Jesus Christ. But yeah, what was I was gonna, oh yeah, player. Yeah, you can pretty much define the player by just doing, I guess, disembodied and then for actor type player. But if you can have the player speak lines, but they're much more quiet. So that's a little, I guess, iffy. But I mean, I guess you don't really need to have the player speaking much, but I don't know, do what you want. I haven't found a way to really make the sound like more when it's a disembodied voice, but I guess that's just a thing to pay attention to. I don't think you're gonna need to use the player much for conversations. I haven't tested the disembodied with anything else. I think you could do disembodied and then leave it at none, get rid of this. I guess we can try this out right now. It might not work at all because we don't have an actor type specified, but I guess we'll find out quick. But, you know, at this point, you can have AI talking to each other. There's just some other settings and shit that are a little bit awkward, like that run to player distance setting. I have no clue what that does. I've gone in and out of, oh, what the fuck? Oh, I've gone in and out of MCC God knows how many times, tweaking settings, trying to get something to work. Oh man, they need to like, can they like make something so I can just not see that intro screen ever? So we can just go straight to this? And a more, you know, snappy menu. So if it's a disembodied voice, wait, so was that, I don't know if that was the grunt or not. If it's disembodied, okay, it started. Did I do that properly? That sounds the exact same way. Maybe if it's the player, it is quieter, but if it's disembodied, then it's the same. Yeah, okay. Did I do that right? Disembodied, none. I saved this and did everything. Whatever. At this point, you know the basics, so you can just tinker with the settings, figure out what's what. But based off what I've done, if you have disembodied and player and have that speak a line, the line is much quieter from what I've done. But yeah, there we go. That is AI conversations. Most of the commands actually shown pretty simply, but you know, I don't want this to be like 5 hours of coding, so that'd be cool. Yeah, I will. The only thing that I didn't really talk about are the various statuses of the conversation that a conversation can have. The only one I showed was 6, which is if the conversation's done. So there's 6 other digits because it starts at 0, I think, and goes all the way up to 6. So technically there's 7. But yeah, that's that. Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully it helps. And I am glad that I'm done with this because I've tried to record this for like 3 days now. And finally figured out the participant line thing. So yeah. If you made it here, thank you for watching. If you watch any of my other stuff, thank you for watching that as well. And I will see you in whatever I decide to do next time. So thank you for watching.